Wall Street is completely wrong about Facebook. So after the data scandal, everybody got extremely bearish, thought that user growth would decline, thought that advertisers would stop using the platform. But a lot of people failed to really understand the power of this business. We started acquiring shares right after the data scandal. So I've been buying the stock and I've also been buying the options. And so out of all the tech firms that are out there, Facebook is definitely one of the most profitable. They have a 39% net margin. So basically after all expenses are paid, they take home 39% of their revenue, and then about an 86% gross margin. So all in all, Facebook has really, really serious profitability, especially whenever you look at the fact that they've been growing at 46%. That's like their average revenue. So year over year, they grow about 46% on average. So they have a pretty phenomenal growth trajectory. And a lot of people think that's going to slow down because they think that advertisers are either going to stop using it or that users are going to stop coming. But if you look at from like a user perspective, where is a user going to go if they want to connect with their friends? The alternative to Facebook is really Instagram. And then the other alternative, Snapchat, has made some really bad missteps. So all in all, Facebook was really smart to acquire Instagram, and now they kind of have this monopoly over the whole social media, social sharing environment. And even if revenue starts to decline from advertising growth from these platforms, now they're starting to diversify into other areas. They've acquired other companies. And so a lot of the companies that they've acquired are still in the early days of monetization. So meaning that there's a lot of room for those areas to come in and to impact revenue in ways that they haven't already. So in a lot of cases, we're still seeing the early days of all these other plays that Facebook has made. They haven't really monetized on them to the extent that they can. And so that's one of the things you have to really understand. Facebook is more than just Facebook, the platform itself. They also have Oculus VR, which is, essentially their play on virtual reality, and they're starting to integrate that more into the Facebook platform and to really do a lot more with content creation. So that's going to be a bigger revenue stream going forward. Facebook is also now getting into dating, so they're going to have a dating application on the platform itself. So this is going to be probably more than likely a huge hit for Facebook. And also, as I mentioned before, they acquired Instagram. Instagram is now one of the most popular apps ever. And so Facebook and Instagram together are one of the most powerful forces in the social media world. Not to mention, last but not least, Facebook also owns WhatsApp. So you have to consider all these things when you look at Facebook as a company. So there's a lot of different dynamic elements to Facebook outside of just the platform itself that a lot of people were failing to consider. So we don't think that advertisers are actually going to go anywhere because Facebook has been a tremendous tool for small businesses when it comes to advertising. Basically, the amount that it costs to actually advertise on Facebook is so much lower than all these other traditional marketing methods. So what we're seeing is that small businesses really prefer Facebook over the alternative marketing methods. So that's something that we've thought about that a lot of other people weren't thinking about after this data scandal, is that whether or not they love or hate Facebook, they need Facebook. And so one way or another, we didn't think that advertisers would stop using the platform. One of the other things I wanted to look at is what is Mark Zuckerberg's standing going to be after this whole situation? Can they remove him as CEO? And what I realized is that it would be very, very difficult to remove Mark Zuckerberg as CEO because he has over 50% of the voting shares. And so what that means is that he really has basically complete control over whether or not he gets to stay or leave as CEO. And so, as of right now, I don't see Mark Zuckerberg going anywhere. So one of the things I like to do whenever I'm investing is comparing one company to another in the same industry or, in general in the same sort of environment. So I compared Facebook to Amazon because that's another tech company that has extreme growth. And it's, obviously a completely different business, but it's a tech company that's had some pretty phenomenal growth as a result of this platform model. And so when you look at and you compare their balance sheets side by side, Facebook actually has more cash and short-term investments than Amazon. And so this cash and the short-term investments that they have can all be used to acquire other companies. So even if their growth starts to slow down on their own platform, they can acquire some of that growth and allow Facebook to still continually experience these kind of gains that they've been having. And I think Facebook still has a lot of opportunity going forward. Essentially, it's still very undervalued compared to a lot of other companies that are on the S&P 500 or just in general in the markets now, with such amazing growth, you know, in so much profitability, and really they don't put a whole lot of money into R&D and all these other things that other tech companies have. So if they did start to, you know, reinvest a little bit more into R&D, just imagine the type of growth that you could see out of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the greatest CEOs of all time, and so that's one of the things that you need to understand going into this is that you know, not only are you getting a phenomenal company, but you're getting a phenomenal manager who's going to be arguably, you know, the best CEO of our time. And so going forward, I love Facebook as an investment. We still own it. And, you know, hopefully this is going to be an amazing idea going forward. It already has been. It's already rebounded since the data scandal. The timing was good, so we got lucky there. And hopefully going forward, things will continue to go well.